Loose Women, the podcast, is brought to you by Mecca Bingo.
Home of bingo besties, where fun and friendship come together, just like best mates.
MeccaBingo.com is the home of legendary bingo. I love being let loose with me dobber.
We all love a win, and the Mecca Prize Promise brings 3 games a day, and everyone who plays is a winner.
Players must be over 18, terms and conditions apply. Go to meccabingo.com for details and please be gamble away.
Coming up.
I won't say that I felt jealous of her success, but sometimes I thought, oh, I'd love to have had a part like that because she's done some amazing things in the past.
I've never felt invisible in my children's lives, but as they sort of migrate towards their own relationships and they need me less, then I suppose the fact of feeling quite invisible in society grows. That feels bigger.
If I could be cured of having a potty mouth. My mum used to go to me, Jesus, I don't know where you get that language from. She was Catholic Irish. Penny Lancaster said to me one day, why do you think you swear? I said, I don't know.
You still wearing that same bra?
Yeah. It's comfortable.
How long has it been now?
Oh, a couple of years.
meccabingo.com, sponsors of Loose Women.
Hello and welcome to Loose Women, the podcast with me, Jane Moore. And who do we have here? None other than our resident potty mouth, as we always call her behind the scenes, Nanny Linda Robson.
National treasure as well.
National treasure, I forgot that bit.
Thank you.
This is you're a virgin, a podcast virgin.
I am.
Your first ever one. Well, this is the one where we get lovely questions from our listeners, and you've got a few there, haven't you? What are we going to be talking about?
Right, so we've got one about friendship, but are you a jealous friend? Someone wants advice on getting their kids to move out, plus we'll be revealing some Loose Women behind-the-scenes secrets.
Oh, lots of juicy stuff there. Okay, should we get started then? You've got the first question.
Okay. This one is from Sandra. She says, should grandparents be expected to be paid for looking after their grandkids? And I say, it all depends on who's earning a lot of money. So back in the day, my mum used to look after my kids all the time. And she had a job. She was a home help. So she'd go in and help the elderly. She'd do their shopping for them. Sometimes if they had an accident, she'd clean up after them. But she wasn't earning very much money. And I was earning quite a lot of money back in the day from Birds of a Feather, obviously. And so I'd pay her every week for looking after my kids. And she never wanted to take the money. But I used to say, take that, because then you can go bingo. She loved her bingo nearly as much as her children.
So do you think, what do you think, like, generally speaking, if there was somebody, like, listening to this who is a grandparent, who, I suppose it's that thing, isn't it? Because it starts off with, like, oh, can you have the kids for a little bit on Tuesday afternoon? And then some people suddenly find that they're doing it every day, and then they're like free childcare, and some think, well, that's great, I want to do that. But others might be thinking, well, either A, I want to have a life of my own, or B, while I'm doing this, I'm not able to earn money for my own lifestyle.
I think I'm the complete opposite. I can't have my grandchildren enough, especially because I've just been away for a few days. Well, 10 days and then another 10 days. So I really, really missed them. So as soon as we got back, that was the first people that I went to see. After the dog, obviously, because Dolly Parton needs me. But I love having my grandchildren more than anything else in the world. I love them more than my children.
But if you were asked to do it every single day, what would you say?
I think I might have a nervous breakdown because the pair of them are like hyper now as well. And Lila in particular, because she's 13 now, so she's got a phone, and now there's no sort of conversation with her anymore. I had them, they stayed overnight, and at 1 o'clock in the morning her Snapchat was still going. I said, right, put the phone away now, you're not having the phone anymore. Betsy's easier though, because she likes my company. We'll play cards and we'll watch, like, she's into Harry Potter at the moment, so she's watching all the films, the Harry Potter films and that. So I'll sit and watch those with her. But I have great fun with them because I let them get away with most things.
But all that aside, if Lauren said to you, I want you to do this as a full-time job, would you expect to be paid?
I wouldn't expect to be paid, but I wouldn't like to do it as a full-time job because I'm 67 now and they wear me out, honestly.
Yeah.
I've got to have a knee replacement, and I did like 10,000 steps the weekend with them, and then I just needed a rest after that.
I mean, there are so many grandparents nationally doing childcare for free. And I think if they didn't exist, the government would have a particularly big problem on their hands because obviously a lot of parents would have to come out of the workplace.
Yeah.
Because childcare is a big issue, you know, and it's an expensive issue.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, my mum looked after my older daughter because I was a single mum then, and I was working all the hours God sent. And she's like, she wouldn't take any money, but I paid her living expenses.
Yeah.
Because she was like, yeah, but I want to do it. And I said, yeah, but you are saving me a fortune
Yeah.
by doing this for me.
My little treats for my mum would be to take her on holiday with us. So whenever we went away, and the greatest thing that I ever did for her was took her to Rome. And she had, like, the Pope comes out on a Sunday and did a blessing and that, and she got really, really emotional because she said, as a young girl growing up in Ireland, I never dreamed I'd get to see the Pope and that. So that was the best thing I ever did for her. She absolutely loved it. And then she went round the Vatican walls filling her Coke bottles up with holy water. We got to the airport and they went, that case is too heavy. I went, I know, because there's like 10 Coke bottles in there with holy water in there.
But I've got a friend who has grandchildren and she loves her grandchildren. But she actually said to me the other day, she's not working now. She's got quite ill health in terms of whatever. But so her son is now sort of constantly leaving his children with her. And he and his wife both work, so they've obviously got a bit of money. And she's suddenly like, now I've got no time to myself. I'm looking after my grandchildren 24/7, 5 days a week. Not 24/7, but you know what I mean. And she said, and I'm struggling financially. And I said, well, you've got to sit them down and tell them that they need to contribute financially.
Yeah.
You know, you need paying because you're saving them an absolute fortune. And she was like, oh no, I couldn't do that.
No, but I felt like I loved giving it to my mum because she absolutely loved it. And once at the bingo, she won £5,000 because there's a national where you join up with all the other bingos, and she won £5,000. Came home from bingo and just threw the £5,000 up in the air, and she gave us all £50 each.
Well, Sandra, I think in answer to your question, should grandparents expect to be paid? Then probably not. It depends on the circumstances, doesn't it?
Yeah,
but I think if you're doing it 5 days a week and not really having a life of your own, then yeah, you do need to have some sort of payment for it.
But it changes with their ages as well, because when they were younger, the pair of them, we could do lots of things together, to go to the cinema and everything. Now Lila's got her own little group of friends, so she wants to be out with them all the time. So I've struggled with that really. But Betsy's happy to be with me 24 hours a day.
Well, I've got the next question now. So Tracy asks, how do I tell my 28-year-old daughter it's time to move out?
Well, funny you should say that, because I've got a 28-year-old daughter that is actually living with me at the moment. So we've got a room downstairs. It's called the
Bobby Girl.
Bobby Girl, yeah. So it's like a cinema room, I suppose. It's just got a big telly and it's got a big sofa. But now the sofa's been taken out and Bobby's moved in with her partner, Scott. So they're living downstairs now. So I love that because they're there when I get home and that. Because it can be quite lonely as well now that the kids have moved out. I've really struggled when they did move out, because I'd always had a house full of people and their friends were always there. I'd know by the door how many pairs of shoes were there, how many people were in my house and that. So I really, really struggled when they moved out.
You like having a house full, don't you?
Well, I'd always had it. I'd always had like...
But say you were Tracy. Clearly Tracy's asked this question because she wants her 28-year-old daughter to move out. So how would you advise her to address that?
I'm not sure, because I wouldn't be able to do that to Bobby Girl. I would love her to stay in the house, but obviously I know that she's eventually going to move out and that. So, and I'll really struggle with that as well.
I mean, again, I suppose it depends on where you live, because to be honest, in London, it's almost impossible to move out of your parents' house because it's so expensive to be able to rent or buy anywhere.
Yeah.
And then, if you're buying something, you put stamp duty on top of it, it's ridiculously expensive. So, but I think if there's a situation where they can afford to not be living with you, I think there is a lot of adult children that think, well, of course I'm going to stay here because I get all my washing done. I would imagine this would happen in your house.
I did all Louis' washing the other day.
Yeah. So you do their washing. I mean, do you cook for them?
I do if they're there, if they're around, but a lot of the time Louis will eat downstairs now, or go out, or he's in the studio a lot of the time as well.
Yeah, but you said to me the other day he shops in your house,
he does,
i.e. he comes up to your fridge.
Well, because downstairs there's like a shower and a toilet, so that's where all the toilet rolls are going. You go down, there'll be no toilet rolls there. I go, Lou, just take one toilet roll. You've took the whole lot of the loo rolls. Or if he wants bread, he'll go up to the bread bin and take like the whole loaf of bread. I go, just take a couple of slices, son, because I don't know what's there when I get home.
Yeah, you see, a lot of people listening to this wouldn't put up with that.
No.
They'd be like, no, come on, you've got to stand on your own 2 feet now. Go and buy your own bread.
No, he's busy in the studio all the time. I'm making excuses for him, but he's in the studio all the time.
Yeah, well, my advice to you, Tracy, is obviously it does depend on the circumstances, I think. If she can move out, if she's financially able to move out, and you feel that she's just staying around because it's convenient and you want to get on with your life and it's not suiting you, then yeah, I do think you just got to sit them down and have a straightforward conversation, because I always feel with these things that when they build up, it becomes like a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And then what happens is it comes out in an argument. So I think it's much better to actually sit them down and go, well, okay. And you could almost dress it up as like I think this is what's good for you.
Yeah.
You know, because you need to learn to stand on your own 2 feet, and it's not good for you to carry on living with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just moved house and I'm living on my own at the minute. And Grace will move back in with me in September when she finishes uni, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But, you know, she has sort of said to me, oh, well, I will be moving back in, Mum, but, you know, I'm hoping to get a job that takes me off here, there and everywhere, so I won't be around very much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I do know what you mean, but if they were there all the time and they weren't showing any sign of going, and they had the money to live somewhere else, then I'd want them to financially contribute.
They haven't actually got a lot of money at the moment. She's just started a little business, Bobby Girl, so I've been helping her out there obviously as well. So she's doing like facials, head massage, body massages and that, so she's got people in the shop that are helping her out and that. So
Well, on the
guinea pig
subject
as well,
eh?
because someone in there's been doing Botox, so she went, Mum, can we just try and do Botox on you? I went, I don't want Botox, and she went, it won't hurt, it won't even notice. So I've had Botox now, which I didn't even want.
Where?
Really, but on my forehead. But
Oh,
it
right.
still moves.
Still moves. I can confirm it still moves. Well, on the subject of kids, here's a question from Jan, and it's specifically for you, Linda.
Okay.
You've grown up in the public eye and your son is getting a lot of attention in his own career. Do you worry about him becoming a well-known figure? So we should point out Louis is obviously a singer and he's doing really, really well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's actually handling it really well because he's got a little bit of OCD and don't like being touched by people and everything. But this little boy said to me, are you Louis's mum? And I said, yes. And he said, where does he live? I went and I told him the address. I said, but don't tell Louis I told you. So he turned up with 10 of his mates. And then he
Linda, you're a
signed
shocker.
everything for him, I know.
But how
he
do you
gave him-
feel about, because you obviously have been in the public eye, which I also want to talk to you about, but how do you feel now about him starting to become more famous and more well known?
I think he's handling it really well at the moment. He really, really is. And the longest I'd seen him for was 10 days because I saw him in Glasgow and then I came home and I went to Malta and then I got back in time to see him at Ali Pali and it was like 10,000 people and I got really emotional when I see him and so did he when he see me because it was like the longest we hadn't seen each other for. But yeah, no, they're
But
all,
you're sort of like...
I'm really lucky because I love all their partners as well.
But you're like Louis Dunford's mum now.
I am.
You
I'm
said.
not Linda Robson anymore.
Yeah.
I'm Louis Dunford's
Do you
mum.
like that?
I don't mind it, honestly. I mean, I've been sort of in the public eye since I was 10 years old, really, and I'm 67 now, so that's 57 years I've been around for, hopefully a few years more and all. But yeah, I think he's handled it better than I thought he would handle it.
What would you, if I said to you, you could go back to being 10 and not go into showbiz and you could just have a life that's like a normal life and private, would you take that option?
No, I've loved my life. I've been places that I never dreamed I would go. I've worked in places that I never dreamed I'd go. I've been to Japan, all over America. I've done so many things and been to so many places. I've been to, Bolivia for a little girl that I sponsored out. Then I went out to Bolivia to meet her and that. Places that I never dreamed I would go, you know, like... I mean, our holiday was always down the caravan in Laysdown or Clacton and that, and then all of a sudden I've been to all these amazing places all over the world. And if I wasn't in this business, then I probably would never have been there.
But in a way, I suppose when you were a child star, you got, and even actually when you were in the comedy, the sitcom Birds of a Feather with Pauline Quirk and Leslie Joseph, even then, social media wasn't like it is now, was it? So people would recognise you because you'd been on the television.
Like they bumped into you in the street or something.
But that would be the only time. You wouldn't get people's opinions thrust on you all the time. How does Louis cope with that?
He's actually coped with it better than I thought he would, really, because as I said, he doesn't like being touched by anybody. He's got sort of little strange ways about him, but that's his little ways or whatever. But he's actually handling it really, really well. I mean, wherever I go now, it's just like, are you Louis Dunford's mum? So it's not, I'm Linda Robson anymore, it's Louis's mum. But I'm very proud of him as well because he's done it all on his own. And if it wasn't for Brenda's son, Jamal Edwards, he wouldn't be where he is now because Jamal found him when he was 16 years old.
Amazing.
And he's always going to credit Jamal for that, for him doing so well.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I mean, looking back now, when you know, birds of a feather, and do you think that's going to come back? Is that something?
No, it's not going to come back now. No, it's really not going to.
And that would be obviously because Pauline's diagnosis
yeah,
with dementia,
Yeah, she's not going to work again now. Talking of Pauline, Charlie rang me.
Oh, Pauline's son?
Yeah, and just said, like, she's doing really, really well at the moment. Sometimes she sort of has down days, but at the moment she's quite up about everything. And he said that they got really, really excited when she said, where's my mate Linda Robson?
Oh.
And that, so I got quite emotional when he told me as well.
Well, you two have known each other
since we were 10 years old at Anna Scher's Theatre in Islington. I know.
Yeah.
And she's always been an amazing actress and, like, my best friend, really, from 10 years of age. Like, and amazing things happened to us as well. Like, when Birds of a Feather first come out, then we started getting invited to everything. Like, we got given VIP tickets for Stringfellows and all these different places. And we couldn't believe our luck, you know, like, it's amazing.
Now you're the mother of a music star.
Yeah, I am.
Fabulous.
I can't believe what's happened to him, really. I really can't. He can't believe what's
happened
happened to him.
He's worked hard.
He has worked really, really hard. I know, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
Great.
And he volunteers around the food bank 3 days a week, so he gives a little bit back for what he's earning.
No,
he don't actually earn any money because whenever you go on tour, you have to pay for the venue that you go to,
it takes
the
a while.
bus that you go to, the band, the hotels, you know, like. But he's never been interested in money.
He's a good lad.
He is.
Okay, well, we are going to take a break now. See you in a minute. Welcome back. Right, should we answer some more questions?
Why
We've
not?
got one here. Okay, so this was a bit of a dilemma. Our listener says, I hate to admit this, but I get jealous of my friend's success and feel secretly happy when things go wrong for them. Is it normal to feel this way? Well, I would say absolutely not normal to feel this way. And if I had a friend like that, I'd be looking for new friends. But what about you and Pauline Quirk? Because obviously you were saying you go back to, like, you've known each other since you were 10 years old.
Yeah.
You've both been in the business. Were there ever times that you ever sort of felt a bit jealous of her success?
I won't say that I felt jealous of her success, but sometimes I thought, I'd love to have had a part like that because she's done some amazing things in the past and that, like Broadchurch and lots of different things and that. So I've never been jealous of it, but I just often thought I would love to have got that part myself. And I've even told her that as well. You know?
So like envious rather than jealous.
Yeah. And I don't want her to do something that goes wrong either. You know, like whatever happened, I'd be there to help her.
Have you ever had, because that thing where she says, I feel secretly happy when things go wrong for them. I always think with people like that, you can sort of pick up on when they're, I mean, I used to, like years and years and years ago, back in the day, I had it, who I'm no longer in touch with, unsurprisingly. I had a friend who was always sort of, I could pick up on her feeling quite gleeful when things went wrong for me. Have you ever had a friend like that?
Not really. I remember when I packed up smoking and then all my friends would be trying to get me to smoke again. Go on, have another fag. And I go, no, I don't want to smoke now. 'Cause I packed up twice. Once I went to Alan Carr, the easy way to stop smoking, because I'd smoked from when I was probably about 12 years old. On the first school journey I ever went on, we all bought cigarettes with us and was smoking and that. Probably nearly choked ourselves, but that's what we did because we felt grown up with it.
I mean, a lot of people, I think, do that because they want a smoking buddy.
Yeah.
And that when you give up, it makes them look bad because they haven't given up.
No, yeah.
And I think a lot of that happens around alcohol as well. Like people, you know, who decide that they're not going to drink for a bit and everyone's going, oh, have a drink, don't be so boring. You hear that a lot, you know?
Yeah, you do. I mean, we started drinking probably when we was about 16. We'd go into the pub and Pauline ordered a Cinzano and lemonade.
Oh, yes.
And I just said, I'll have the same
Classic.
as her. It was horrible, but I didn't know what else to order.
Very sweet.
So I stayed on Cinzano and lemonade for a few years.
Yeah.
And then moved on to wine spritzers.
I mean, I'm sort of interested in the psychology behind somebody that gets jealous of a friend's success.
Yeah.
I think it's natural what you said, that you feel envious and you kind of think, oh, I'm really happy for them, but I wish that something like that would happen to me. I totally understand that. I think that's a normal thing. But if they're sort of there going, I really wish they hadn't got that opportunity. And then if it goes wrong, they feel happy. I don't think that's normal.
I've never felt like that about Pauline or whatever, but I have noticed, like with friends and that sometimes they couldn't find their purse when the bill came up or whatever, because I was earning quite a lot of money, so then I'd pay for the bill.
Oh, well, that's a whole other topic, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you've got the next question.
Have I? Right. Tony says, Jane, your daughters are grown up and you've recently divorced. Do you worry that you're not as needed by other people in later life? I really struggled after my son flew the nest.
Oh, yeah, empty nest syndrome is a very real thing. I mean, obviously I got divorced. My dog died, he was 16. My older daughter had already left home, but then my younger daughter was off at uni. So I've just moved into my house. I'm very much there on my own at the moment. And yeah, it's weird. It's a real adjustment because
Do you
suddenly...
feel lonely in your house now?
Well, you've sort of gone from being the hub of the family and sort of thinking like you never get a moment to yourself to suddenly having lots of time to yourself. I wouldn't say I'm somebody that particularly needs to be needed.
I find that really hard not to be
I know
needed
you,
and
yeah, I know you do, but I it's not that so much. And I mean, I have a lot of friends who ring me and ask me for advice about stuff, and I've got a lot of good friends locally that I hang out with and so on. But it is a massive adjustment when your children, and it actually the adjustment first of all comes when they get relationships.
Yeah.
Because suddenly they're not asked, that you're not the sort of person that they first come to about everything.
No.
They've got this whole other unit going on over here. But, you know, eventually when your children do move out, I think you're going to struggle.
I am going to struggle. I'm struggling now because Louie's gone, and then Lauren's gone, obviously, because she's moved in, obviously married with her husband and got 2 kids and that.
Well, Louie's living downstairs, right?
Yeah. And then there's Bobby Girl, who's moved back in. So I'm delighted that she's moved back in, although she is messy. I call her Lionel messy.
So do you really like to feel needed?
Yeah, I do. And I don't feel needed as much now as I was, obviously, when they were younger. So I've really struggled with that.
Yeah, but you've got the dog.
Got the dog, got Dolly Parton, yeah.
See, that would make me think about getting another dog.
I would it. Well, apparently every time the doorbell went when I was away, she ran down to the door looking for me. So she is basically the only one that needs me anymore.
Yeah.
The rest of them have all got their own lives now.
Well, they all still need you.
I'm
I mean,
still part of their lives.
if there was a crisis in their life, they would totally need
Yeah,
you.
they
And your
would,
sisters need you. You spend a lot of time with your sisters, don't you?
I am lucky. I've got good friends around me and my family.
It is just a massive adjustment, I think, in answer to Tony. And I think I think it comes at the same time that within society you start to feel more invisible.
Yeah, you do.
So I've never felt invisible in my children's lives, but as they sort of migrate towards their own relationships and they need me less, then I suppose the fact of feeling quite invisible in society grows. That feels bigger.
Yeah.
Do you feel invisible?
I do. I think as I've got older, I feel invisible. Because obviously when you're younger, you're attractive and you get a lot of attention, and then that attention stops really. Now it's like, do you want to sit down on the bus? You can take my chair or whatever. But yeah, so I have struggled with that really.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because I think although, you know, men can be attractive when they're younger, their whole worth isn't based on their attractiveness.
No.
Whereas I think, and obviously there are exceptions, not everyone is like this, but generally women are based on how attractive people find them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as you get older, you lose that currency.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think sometimes there's a tendency that if you're in a room, people aren't interested in your opinion.
No.
You kind of get unnoticed.
Yeah. We don't get wolf whistled anymore, do we, Jane?
Oh, I don't care about that.
No, I
wouldn't
don't.
miss that at all.
Me neither.
But it is, I just think it's that thing of, I don't know. I mean, I went into a pub the other day and I was standing at the bar and, you know, there's multiple people at the bar and I felt invisible because they kept going to other
Their
people
little
that had
groups,
come
yeah.
after me.
Yeah.
And for me, the mark of a good bartender is to, when I did it, I used to notice who'd come.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, am I actually invisible standing here? In the
Yeah.
end, I had to sort of say, excuse me, I was before this person.
Yeah.
And then they look at you like, ooh. What are you
Pushing
moaning
in, yeah.
about? Well, I think we'll take another break, shall we?
Okay.
Yes, we'll be back in a minute. Welcome back. How are you finding your first Loose Women, the podcast?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's been really nice, yeah.
It sort of gives us a chance to go a little bit deeper into things than we can on the show.
Yeah.
Because there we've always got a couple of minutes, haven't we? And then it's on to the next thing.
We can take our time with this one.
We can indeed. Well, if you are enjoying it as much as we are, then please remember to subscribe, follow, rate us. It's totally free. And of course, it means that you don't miss a single episode. Right, we're going to do our celebrity guest question now. And this week it is from hypnotist Paul McKenna.
So if you would like me to cure you of any one thing, what would that be?
It would probably to stop me swearing. If I could be cured of having a potty mouth, really.
Well, he'd have his work cut out
I know,
there, wouldn't
yeah.
he?
My mum used to go to me, Jesus, I don't know where you get that language from. She was Catholic Irish and everything.
Where do you think you did get that language
I
from?
don't know. Penny Lancaster said to me one day, why do you think you swear? I said, I don't know. She went, did your mum swear? I went, no, she's Catholic Irish, she wouldn't swear. Did your dad swear? No, not really. So she went, why do you swear? I said, I ain't got love.
Do you swear in front of your grandkids when they were young?
No, I don't
Yeah,
swear
so
in
you
front of
can
them.
not do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, because Lauren would kill me if I swear in front of
Yeah.
them.
Well, it's interesting because my ex-husband Gary, he swears, or he uses, swear words like punctuation,
Yeah.
but he gets away with it. He's quite cool, blimey Cockney.
Yeah.
But our kids don't swear.
No.
So maybe you're like the thing of like your mum didn't swear, and you're
Especially on a Sunday. No
Yeah.
swearing on a Sunday.
you're the reaction to that.
I am, yeah. She tried to send me to elocution lessons years ago. And then
Well, that didn't work
I
either,
think she
did
gave
it?
up, yeah.
I'm trying to think what if I would be hypnotised, what it would be for. I mean, I think my popcorn habit. I mean, I know this sounds silly,
Yeah.
but I think I've got a popcorn addiction.
Have you? What, at the cinema or at home?
No, at home.
Oh, at home, yeah.
Every time I go out to the supermarket, the thing, how there's always one thing you buy
Yeah.
at the supermarket, like constantly, and then you open the cupboard and you've actually got hundreds of them and you've forgotten. It's popcorn.
Oh, is it?
And I'm at the point now where I'm nearly eating a bag a night.
Oh, are
And
you?
it's not,
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's supposed to be
At
like...
the cinema, I always end up with it down my bra.
Yeah, but I know it's supposed to be quite good for you, but actually it's also full of trans fats and stuff, especially
Yeah.
the microwave popcorn. So I do realise, and of course the one I eat has always got lots of salt and sugar on
Yeah.
it. And so I'm thinking, no, I really need to stop doing this, but it has become an addiction.
Has it? Yeah.
So-
mine is shortbread biscuits. I love shortbread biscuits.
Do
Nice cup of
you?
tea and shortbread biscuits.
Yeah. You
I
see, you
hide
say
them
that.
indoors as well so they can't find them.
Yeah, my mum used to give me shortbread biscuits, and now you've said that, I've been like, I've got a massive wave of nostalgia, but I'm not a biscuit person. I don't really buy biscuits. That's funny, isn't it?
I even took them away on holiday with me because I knew I wouldn't be able to get them over there. In Malta or in Cyprus.
Do you take your own tea bags as well?
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew that is exactly what you would do.
Yeah.
All right, well, finally, it's time for our star question. And this is our favourite question from all this week's selection from the listeners. So the question is, who picks the clothes that you wear on the show?
Bertie, Daisy, and
Gemma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the three of them do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
we've
know
got
us really well. as
Three
well.
wardrobe ladies, for
Yeah,
want of a
we
better
have.
word. They run the wardrobe department like a tightly run ship.
Yeah.
And we've all got our racks of clothes, haven't we, with our
Yeah.
name on and stuff. And we have bits and bobs that we keep as basics.
Yeah.
And then we wear different things every day just so that we can kind of look a bit different. But you have a certain style. You like that
Baggy
sort of dress,
clothes,
don't
yeah.
you?
Yeah, I like to be comfortable.
Right.
I love my fit flops and I like nice loose dresses.
Are you still wearing that same bra?
Yeah. It's comfortable.
How long has it been now?
Oh, a couple of years. But it's comfortable. It's all about comfort with me.
Yeah. But why do you think you wear baggy clothes? Because there are other things that are comfortable. It doesn't have to be baggy.
Oh, they've got me like trouser suits and everything, but I've got a tummy. I'm the same shape as my mum, and I don't know why I've got a tummy because I don't even really eat that much. If I'm at home, I'll have hummus and tzatziki and pita breads and whatever. I don't really cook dinner anymore, so I'll just have like little picky bits now.
And I remember when you first came on the show, you used to wear scarves all the time.
Yeah.
And I used to say, why are you always wearing a scarf?
Oh, because my mum gave me a complex about it. So she used to say to me, your face looked lovely on telly today, but your neck. I go, well, it's the only one I've got, Mum. And the other thing she used to say to me, as only mums can say, the salad bar's over there. In other words, you're putting on a bit of weight.
Did she?
Yeah, yeah. And I was always very careful not to say that to my kids.
Yeah.
Because Lauren had bulimia at one time.
That's
so
shocking.
That really,
You should
really
never say
worried
those
me.
sort of things.
Never.
Because it goes in some... It's still
does,
in your
yeah,
head now.
Yeah. It is,
all
yeah.
these years later. Whose style on the show do you like?
Yours is always very nice, but then you're very tall and very slender as well, so you could put you in a bin bag. And
I dress
lovely.
strategically.
You do, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yours
Anyone
lovely.
else you like? Whose style you like?
Nadia always looks lovely.
Yeah.
She's quite voluptuous, isn't she, as well? So, yeah, she always looks lovely. Everyone does, really.
Yeah, they do a
really
good job,
with
don't
us,
they?
yeah.
And do you think your style has changed on the show?
Not really. I think it stayed the same.
Yeah.
I'm still in the same sort of dresses and whatever. I'm comfortable in them.
I think I wear more colour since I... Because when I first came back to the show, so it was, 2013, I was very much a black, cream,
You're not allowed to
grey...
wear black.
Taupe, no, unless someone's died.
Yeah.
But I wore quite muted colours in life. And then, of course, because we were on the telly, it was like, oh, let's try and make things a bit brighter, wear bright colours. And look, here I am wearing a bright orange top, my own top, which I bought myself. And I wear a lot more bright colours now, which I quite like.
Sometimes the girls say, I've got you this or I've got you that, and I think, oh, I'm never going to wear that. And then I put it on, it actually looks really nice. I think they know us better than we know us.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of the time.
But if you're going out, what do you buy?
Same old thing.
And you
Loose
like your
dresses.
fit flops,
I love
don't
my
you?
fit flops. I've got to be comfortable as well. I love my fit flops.
Yeah.
I must have about 20 pair. How do you think your style's changed in your 60s?
Oh, I think for me it's a fine line. I don't want to dress like I'm like, oh, I'm now over 60, so I have to sort of wear certain types of clothes. I like to wear quite young and fresh stuff, but equally I don't want to look too young. I'm very good at, like, my daughters are brilliant. If I go shopping with them, they'll go, Mum, you'd look great in this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't wear anything above the knee.
No, me neither.
Because I don't like my knees now.
No, I hate
because
my
they're a bit
legs.
wrinkly,
I've
and
always hated
I
my
just
legs.
think, oh no. I mean, I'll wear a shorter skirt in winter if I've got thick black tights on, but the knees are not coming out. I'm afraid.
Nor am I.
Under my arms are now getting a bit. I used to have quite good arms. They're getting a bit, I don't know, not quite so taut. So maybe this top would hide that, because it comes down to the sort of just above the elbow.
Yeah. I think most women of our age hate their arms, don't they? They really do. I've not liked mine for a long time.
I mean, I'm not massively keen on my neck area, but I just think, oh, you know what? It's my neck.
Yeah.
It's a 63-year-old neck. Live with it. Deal with it. So, yeah, I'm not going to start going around in massive polar neck jumpers. But, yeah, I think everybody, after a certain... I do get asked a lot by people about style and, where did I get such and such from and things like that. And I think a lot of women now of our age are dressing very differently.
Yeah.
If you look at women in their 60s back in the day,
They
dressed
crumply trouser suits.
far
or-
more frumpily than people do now. I think it's really good that that women are realising that there's life in us yet, and we can wear colour and we can wear clothes that flatter our shape. So yeah, bring it on, I say. Have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction?
I did have one wardrobe malfunction. I was doing Within These Walls many years ago.
What was that?
It was Googie Withers. It was all set in a women's prison.
Oh, I remember.
And then
yes.
there was like everyone started going mad and banging things, and I was on a top bunk, and as I jumped down from the top bunk, my nightdress got caught in the top, and all you could see was my knickers and my tummy and everything. The thing was there, and then they had to come and undo me from it as well. But the malfunctions, Leslie Joseph, we never knew what she was going to come out in Birds of a Feather. We'd only know when she walked onto the set that time.
Oh yeah, her wild
sometimes,
outfits.
Yeah, sometimes, the skirt would be like a belt or whatever. But she's amazing. She really, really. She's going to be 80 this year as well.
Wow.
It's fantastic.
She is. She's a real force of nature, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
That's it from us today. 2 more Loose Women are back on Tuesday.
And remember, if you've got a question you want to ask us, make sure you send it to loose.women@itv.com. We'll see you soon. Until then,
Stay loose.